Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Charmed Rewind. Woo! This is going to be a double stuffed Oreo of podcasts.
And of
long.
Pain.
Yeah. We got to feel the emotions. Get really emotional.
Allison, I just can't deal with your emotions right now.
I've had enough of this. I'm still reeling from this episode of Charmed. I don't need this from you right now.
I can't deal with that. Can you guys stop with everything, please?
Can you stop feeling emotions, please? You aren't thinking about how that affects me. Stupid. All right. Well, before we get into this episode of Charmed, a couple of announcements to make. First of all,
Charmed Hard with a Vengeance is coming back.
No. I have had people ask me that. They're like, is this coming back now? And it's like, no. I think we made it clear. It was over. In case people don't know, the 2018 series, The Cancellation Demon Came A-Callin'. It's over. The cancellation was announced. The finale aired. Hilariously, if you don't want spoilers on the reboot Charmed, I don't know, mute it for 30 seconds. So it ends with they go to a Blockbuster type store with parallel dimensions on video or something, and one of them is the OG dimension, and they're like, there's a powerful psychic woman from our dimension who's trying to save the world or something, and they're like, cool. They go to the OG house and they go in the door and it shuts as if the ghost of Prue is shutting them in. You know, immediately after they went to the OG house, they were blasted away by Piper. Like, no way were they making it.
I have time for this. I'm trying to have a normal life.
This is the most hilarious way that show could have ended.
Yeah. It cuts to the outside of the house and hears screams and explosions.
I'm in need of a guilt remover spell.
So funny. But no, Charmed Hard with a Vengeance is not coming back. We are not talking about that. Also, I wanted to issue a correction from the last Charmed rewind that we did. Blinking is for warlocks, and shimmering is for demons. I believe I said it was shimmering with warlocks. My bad. They all have stupid names, but it's basically the same thing.
They teleported. I'll just say that, because I don't care about their dumb names for it. Just like
the reboot shimmered out of existence because it was canceled. And nothing of value was lost. So we did another random number generator. I think this is just how I'm going to be doing these from now on. I think it's fun just to get random picks, see what comes up. And the winner this time, and I was real scared because we had two-parters on this poll. And one of the two-parters won, so we ended up with Season 6, Episode 1 and 2, Valhalley of the Dolls.
Stupid title's probably the funniest part of the episode.
There's some kind of funny parts in this, though, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
This was the beginning of Season 6, which I found to be the season that was the most obnoxious to me.
It starts off obnoxious, like... It just slaps you in the face with it and doesn't let up.
They ended Season 5 setting up stuff for Season 6, so Chris shows up. He's this mysterious man from the future. They don't know that it's Piper's future son, nor does the people writing the show know this, because a lot of things happening in this episode do not make sense with what they tell us about Chris later. This is clearly an aborted storyline that doesn't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So... he convinced Leo to become an elder because of something to do with I think the Titans have come back or something vaguely like that happened in the Season 5 finale. And then because Leo becomes an elder, he's taken away from Piper. They've become goddesses for some reason. I forget the exact plot reason, but Piper has gone insane, is going to destroy the whole place. So Leo makes her forget her pain. He casts some sort of spell on her. And as he's talking to Chris about this, he's going to orb out to Elderland, and he's supposed to be going away to be an elder, and as he's orbing away, Chris seems to blow him up or something, and we find out what happened in this episode.
Yeah, doesn't really quite follow what it seemed to show visually either, with him blowing him up mid-orb. It's like, oh, that made him go to Valhalla. Oh, sure, yeah, right.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's the main thing that we need to know. I believe Jason also went off on some work trip or something in the season 5 finale, something like that. That's some of the things going on in this episode.
Yeah. Phoebe is still with Jason. I guess that's important to note.
It's important to note. Yes. Okay, so let's jump right into this two-parter. The first shot is motherfucking Smash Mouth on the beach.
Ridiculous.
You know, when you open with Smash Mouth, you're in for a good time.
Always think like Nordic gods if I see Smash Mouth.
There are so many things going on in this episode that don't go together. It's kind of an amazing, it's like a stew of regrettable early 2000s things. So yeah, they're playing a song. There is a radio station doing some sort of live broadcast. Do radio stations normally have live performances from the bands?
Yeah, I don't think so.
And on a beach too. Would that be good sound recording on a beach?
Yeah, it feels like they were thinking MTV, but they're like, what if it's just a radio station doing this?
Yeah, why wasn't it just something like MTV? They didn't have to call it MTV.
Yeah, that would have made more sense, yeah, if you had some equivalent to that.
Yeah, but yeah, there's some sort of beach bash going on with this radio station, and they have Phoebe there to do an interview.
To inflate her ego and make you hate her more than you thought possible.
They're gonna punch you right in the face immediately with this Phoebe crap. She's there with her new haircut. She's got her new pixie cut for the season. And she's in a bikini for this radio show. And it's all just so this guy can be like, I'm with the cool and sexy and awesome Phoebe Halliwell, and her column is so great. Suck her dick.
How do you give the best advice in the world, Phoebe?
Yeah, he's like, are you psychic? And she's like, what? What makes you say that? And he's like, well, because your column has skyrocketed and your advice is so insightful. How does that go to psychic?
Yeah.
How does that relate?
There's a lot of talk about Phoebe being so insightful. It'd be nice if that ever showed up on the show. All we do is hear that she's supposedly insightful, but she never is. Yeah,
I don't think they ever really show us what her advice is beyond really generic kind of stuff.
Yeah, or in any other aspect of her life. She's not insightful. How is she so insightful with this column unless it's always a ghostwriter who knows how to write things?
Yeah, Nick Lachey is constantly giving advice out and not getting credit for her column.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, so this DJ, he's like, hey, I want some advice. You should read me. And she's like, all right. And he's like, well, I want to ask this woman out, but I'm not really sure if she's going to say yes. And then she has a little tingle, a little spider sense. Mm-hmm. And she's like, why don't you just ask me out already?
He goes, it was not you.
That would be so funny. But this is, of course, because they're setting up her new power through this episode. It's so annoying!
Her power to make stuff about her. You thought she didn't do that enough? Well, now she has a power to do that.
Yeah, so they've set up, she has the power of empathy now. She can feel other people's feelings. Mm-hmm. This is the least empathetic person with empathy you could possibly portray. Yes. It's like, it just gives her an excuse to make everyone else's stories about her all the time.
Yeah, basically if someone's feeling something now, Phoebe jumps in front of them and says, oh, I feel what they're feeling.
It's about me now.
Yeah, this affects me in this way.
An emotion bomb.
This sucks so bad. And the worst part about it is that Phoebe's always bitching and making it about herself. But the second worst part about it is that they really didn't have a plan for what they were going to do with this power, because there's really not a lot of situations you can use this in an interesting way. If your characters are human beings that feel things like humans, they could do the same thing that she does. Like, know how people are feeling, like read people.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently she has to have some power to do this and still doesn't manage to pull it off.
No. You could think of like useful, plots to involve this power, but Charmed really doesn't.
No, they end up writing it out later because they just don't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
So meanwhile, we got Chris in the attic of the manor. He's using telekinesis to flip pages on the Book of Shadows. Could White Lighters use telekinesis before? Is that a thing? I feel like they could levitate.
Yeah, they could orb, but he's not orbing the pages.
Yeah, they could orb and they could levitate, because I know, like, they showed Leo levitating to change light bulbs and stuff.
If we go with the continuity of Chris revealed later that he's like part witch or warlock or whatever, however that works, I guess he could have some witch power to do that.
I guess so. This is so stupid what they've done here. So Chris is some mysterious white lighter from the future, and he's Leo has disappeared under mysterious circumstances. So the elders are like, we will make you their full-time white lighter, even though he's a full-time white.
Huh? Egg?
Huh? Egg? What's your name again? You're their white lighter. So the most powerful witches in the world that are prophesied to save humanity or whatever the fuck they were supposed to do.
You get a
they put
future
this newbie,
boy.
The future boy that they don't know anything about, who is in fact scheming against them and doesn't have healing powers. He doesn't have anything useful a white lighter could possibly be used for, is put in charge of them for reasons?
He has flimsy excuses.
Why the hell did you do that?
They're never explained why the elders do this, and he's not even good at lying. So I don't understand any of this, even if he didn't seem obviously evil or crooked in some way. Like, first of all, he was with Leo when he disappeared, and no one seems to be like, hey, maybe he had something to do with this disappearance. Yeah. And secondly, he's just a guy from the future. They only have his word that he's some white lighter from the future. They don't know anything about him.
Yeah, the curly mustache should be a giveaway that he's evil.
Yeah, so he's looking up stuff about this demon because he's been on like a demon kick lately. While this happens, a portal opens up. A big portal that looks like a flushing toilet. Yeah. It opens up and a Lord of the Rings elf lady.
She comes out and says, I've invented something amazing. 2,000 flashes, blue plus bleach.
It's kind of amazing how elf-like she looks when this has nothing to do with elves. Her ears look like elf ears, but I think that's just the actress's ears.
Yeah, I think so.
She's got kind of elfy ears.
Chris has a big-time relationship with this woman that we'll never see again after part 2.
Oh, yeah. Her name is Mist.
Mist.
Like the game. And she's a Valkyrie. She's wearing the standard Valkyrie uniform of like a crop top and a skirt to show off the midriff. She says that Freya sent her, who's another Valkyrie. Chris just seems annoyed about this. He's like, yeah, whatever with this. They start setting up all this stuff about this plan that he has done, half of which does not match up with Chris's story. She's like, hey, what's taking so long with the plan? And he's like, hey, don't worry about it. And they're like, well, we should be worried because Leo is an elder and we have Leo held captive in Valhalla. This is bad news for us. Because the Valkyries, from what we learn, are not really bad guys. They got their own agenda. They're like collecting warrior spirits to prepare for the battle against good and evil in the end times.
She tells him like that Leo's complaining or something, and Chris is like, oh, that guy! You think you'd enjoy it over there? Like,
yeah, I sent him to this place with a bunch of scantily clad women and he's still complaining. Ugh.
Classic way to talk about your father.
Yeah.
They had it all planned out.
I mean, he clearly, once they actually know that he's supposed to be Leo's son, does have some resentment toward him. But all the other stuff that they're saying here doesn't seem like he's that concerned with his father's life, which is, you would be if you hadn't been conceived yet, I would think.
Yeah.
He's like, well, you got to keep him out of the way until I'm ready, or else, and then he's cut off, and they never explain, or else what? We never know. We will never know, or else what?
We will never
ready
know.
for what? What is his plan? Nothing.
No. We will never know.
We will never know. And he's like, she's getting nervous around him, Mist is, and he's like, I would never hurt you. And then they kiss. And this is never explained, never brought up again. We don't know what this relationship was about, what was going on with these two.
He says, like, you know I would never hurt you. And then she goes, yeah, but I also know that you would if you needed to. I'm like, well, you can't know both of those things.
Yeah, never in a relative sense. This also doesn't... There was this whole thing with Chris's backstory. Before he traveled to the past, he had a girlfriend. There was some, like, romance story going on, and she got killed by Wyatt, I think, before he went back. Something like that. So... if you look at that and then you look at this, it rings very hollow, this relationship with this Valkyrie, clearly just using her for whatever.
Some classic Big Brother teasing.
Quit killing my girlfriends! Mom!
Going to go back to the past and tell.
Everything he does in this episode, if you look back on it later when he's like just goofball son, it's like, I don't know if this is really something you come back from. No.
Some pretty reprehensible stuff going on here.
Pretty bad. So anyway, she flushes back in her portal. Yeah. That's when Piper waltzes in, acting chipper and asking if he has any laundry.
Yeah, I forgot that this was going on, so it's just like Piper comes in and she's pleasant, and I was like, who was that? I was like, oh, of course, there was a magical reason why Piper's being nice.
I never do laundry or ask how people are feeling or care about things normally, but I'm so happy.
Yeah, she just comes in and has a pleasant interaction with Chris. And like, who the hell is this? This is not the Piper I know.
She didn't complain at him or scowl or hiss. Like, she didn't slither away into her burrow. Like, what's going on here?
Spit poison in his face. Yeah, like Jurassic Park.
Yeah, her frills come up.
Yeah.
Anyway, back at the beach, Phoebe goes up to that DJ guy and she's like, oh, sorry if I embarrassed you with that whole, like, ask me out thing. And he's like, no, you were right. She's like, well, if I was right, how about I ask you out? Meanwhile, she is still with Jason.
Yeah.
He's just on a business trip and she's going out on a date. What a fucking bitch.
In fact, he's coming back tomorrow.
Yeah, and she forgot.
And she forgot.
What an asshole. Maybe I'm missing something. It feels like they did this on this show a lot. Occasionally other shows will do this where people are like, my boyfriend or my girlfriend's on a trip, so going on a casual date with someone else is okay. Like, it's cheating. It's just cheating.
Yeah, no, it's just cheating.
Like, they're like, oh, this is casual fun. It's not. Unless you have some sort of agreement with your partner that this is, that you can go on dates with other people, it's cheating.
Mm-hmm. They weren't on a break or anything like that. It's just like, I'm going on this trip. We're in a long distance relationship. And she goes, okay, sweet. I'm going to call someone else and make a date.
Yeah, I think like in a later episode too, like he's on another business trip and she's just like, I have to move on. I can't wait forever.
Yeah.
He just was on a business trip. This wasn't unexpected.
Yeah. You can at least do the courtesy of calling him and saying, I can't do this. You don't just start going on dates behind his back.
Yeah, you don't just have the restaurant let him know that you broke up. Oh, she's a fucking hypocrite. Is she psychic? Because she must know how Jason's feeling.
Ooh, she's so insightful.
You must be kidding, aren't you?
Anyway, Chris orbs in, and he's like, hey, we got a demon to vanquish. And she's like, ugh, get a life, Chris. What are you even doing? What's the point of you Charmed Ones?
I know. What's the point of this show? Like, if you just have your main characters scowl and, like, roll their eyes every time they're told they have to do the plot, like, what is the intrigue here?
All they do is complain that they have to save people or do anything. Like, it's not even like anything pressing is happening. I get like when it's like, oh no, I have this going on, and then my work life or my social life has intersected with my demon fighting life. It's just like anytime anything comes up, they're like, ugh,
yeah. It's like
I can't with this.
We just saw Phoebe lazing around the beach, having her ego pumped up by some guy from the radio. It's like, oh yeah, poor Phoebe. She's getting no time for other stuff, is she?
Yeah, she's not even in the middle of that. She just finished asking the guy on a date and was doing nothing. Like, was she gonna go and see the rest of the Smash Mouth concert? Like, what is she missing out on here?
Seems like they're in between songs anyway.
Yeah.
They haven't even started All-Star yet.
Brought the Shrek mask and everything.
Get your demon on, go play.
Anyway, so cut to Paige with like 600 dogs on a leash. This is the temp agency has given her a job as a dog walker.
I say this is Paige at her bounciest.
Yeah, the first thing we see, she's wearing no bra and she's running, so it's just like boom, boom, boom. It's ridiculous. And she's wearing a very silky top, so it's just like you can see everything.
It's too late. I've seen everything.
I've seen it all. Her boobs are out of control.
Naked woman.
Hilarious. Yeah, so this is part of her storyline this season. The temp agency giving her different jobs. Depending on the episode, she wants a normal life or she doesn't want a normal life, depending on who's writing it. She's like, I love being magic. I hate being magic.
Yeah, this is another, like, not great story for Paige. She gets kind of shrewish in these ones.
I didn't remember anything about her plot in this episode. It threw me for a fucking loop. What we get to later, I was like, what the fuck? I did not recall any of this.
It's like they're throwing random ideas at a board and like, let's throw that in the Valkyrie one, sure.
Yeah, they're just swirling in the toilet portal at this point. So Chris orbs in, he's like, yeah, we gotta go get that demon. And one of the dogs humps Paige's leg. Cue the laugh track. They orb into the living room at the manor, and Phoebe's like,
lighten up, Chris. Sending us after all these demons is getting to be a real drag.
He's the only one acting like a real adult, and he's like a villain, but it's one of those things where it's like, you agree with the villain? Where you're like, yeah, you should be hunting these fucking demons, you idiots. Just constantly like, can you guys take this seriously for 2 seconds? And they're like,
no, this is gonna eat up like 10 minutes of my day.
See, the thing is, when they gotta fight demons or when Leo's in danger or any of this stuff is going on, they don't care. It's Giggle City. But if something like a date's being interrupted, then it's serious time.
Oh my goodness!
Chris is like, well, I don't see Piper complaining.
During this line, we get like a The Office moment.
Yeah, I had to pause it for a second, and then like he's like looking directly at the camera, like Jim from The Office. He's
jimming it, yeah. Just wait for the little zoom in on Chris there. It's like, look what I have to deal with here.
It's him this whole episode, just a bunch of Dwights, and then
yeah, Phoebe, the Dwightest of them all.
And they're like, yeah, well, of course Piper isn't complaining. Ever since Leo disappeared, she's been acting nice and not like Piper at all. But they haven't cared enough to like try and figure this out. They're just like, oh, that's weird. Anyway, we got my Smash Mouth concert and the dog walking to get to. Like, they didn't seem too concerned about this. This is apparently what it's been like months, right? Like, it's been a long time since he disappeared.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't care. Not about them.
Cue the comedy music. Just for this one little bit, Piper comes in and they play this like jaunty little tune. As she's like on the phone, like,
Oh yeah, let's go on a play date. Oh, these dogs are so cute.
she becomes Caroline.
So adorable.
Totes adorbs.
And as she does this, Phoebe's like, oh, she's getting worse.
Yeah.
This is horrible.
She gets any nicer, there won't be anything left of our sister.
They hate when she's nice. They hate when she complains. They just hate everything all the time.
It's almost like they hate Piper. Hard to believe, but true.
I guess we do too. Anyway, they gotta kill that demon, so they're gonna summon it. And they're like, Chris, get these dogs out of the way. The dogs drag him upstairs. We get a view of Chris's ass.
Yeah.
Like his pants are like falling down and you get like his ass crack as he's running upstairs.
Good combo with Chris's ass and Peaches bouncing.
Terrible. So sometime between like that 2-second interlude and the last time we saw Piper, she's put on an apron. Just thought it was very quick that she's put this apron on. She comes in and she's like, she's complimenting Phoebe's haircut. She's like, oh, it's so cute. And then like they know something's wrong if she's complimenting her haircut. Otherwise she'd just be like spitting on her.
Yeah.
Hate your haircut.
It's like the third or fourth person in these episodes that has to compliment her haircut.
I know, everyone has to.
It looks good. We love it. We love your hair, Phoebe.
But I just can't deal with all this adoration. It's overwhelming me. You didn't think about what this would do to me if you said that.
Alright, so they summon this demon. It's some two-headed freak. Real good effect they got going with the second head here.
It is really funny because, like, it's so bad, the superimposed second head, that they just have Piper blow the second one off almost immediately to get rid of it.
Yeah, she blows it up, but not on purpose. She was just supposed to freeze him because her powers are going wonky with this chipper spell that's on her. She starts laughing about it, which actually seemed very in character for Piper to blow up someone's head graphically. And this actually, I feel like it was a more graphic episode than normal. We get lots of like stabbings and decapitations and blood and shit.
Yeah, this demon fight though is pretty standard fare, I feel.
They do, yeah, I mean, but usually they just sort of blow him up into an explosion where there's not even debris in the house. And the fact that they blew up his head and we see a stump, I feel like was a little more than we usually see.
It's true. This fight doesn't last much longer, though. They get rid of him pretty quick.
Oh, yeah. They get thrown into the wall and then blow him up in 2 seconds. And Piper turns into
standard.
Piper turns into like Chris Farley and Tommy Boy, like, that was awesome!
Honestly, it's like Piper is at her best in a lot of these 2 episodes. It's like, can we just keep her this way, actually?
Honestly, yeah, I wrote that in my notes. Valkyrie Piper is actually really cool. I wish they'd kept Piper doing that.
I know. She's not complaining about her babies or normal life constantly.
Yeah, she was actually like doing something in the story instead of just complaining and staying at home.
Yeah, she saves someone as a Valkyrie.
Yeah, like she has like feelings and morals, which I feel like she does not have.
Yeah, which is weird because they say like Valkyries don't feel anything, but it seems like they do.
They've thought out her heart so cold.
Piper's hero.
So Paige is complaining that Chris can't heal, like her shoulder's injured a little bit. Again, great job, elders, making him their main white lighter. They have no one else to help them in case they're, near death or anything.
Wow.
And he's like, well, you can't heal either. And she's like, well, I'm half white lighter. Shut up.
It's like, I am too, but we haven't done that backstory yet.
No, he just says that he's just like a newbie. Like, he's just too new at it. Again, why would they make a new guy?
Yeah.
Their main white lighter. Pick someone experienced.
It's like they chose him like they chose plots for these episodes, just random. Random select, that guy. Oh, you mean Future Boy who hasn't even developed half his white lighter powers? Yeah, sure. Who cares? Get out there.
He hasn't even hit white lighter puberty yet. That's fine. Paige asks why they hired him, like he's the help or something. Why did we hire you? And he's like, oh, you didn't hire me. I was foisted upon you. And they're like, oh yeah.
Well, be gone.
Be gone. And Phoebe's like,
I'll tell you one thing. We're going to stop this demon fighting right now.
Oh, just
you're just looking for any excuse. Shut up.
Like, seriously, this barely took any time. This was way quicker than her stupid interview, just telling her how great she was for like 20 minutes. And like, oh no, I had to do something. It took away like 5 minutes.
This was the easiest thing in the world. And she's like,
And yeah, that tears it. We can't do this anymore.
I don't care who dies. This was not worth it.
They weren't even portraying it like it was difficult. It's not like, oh, they just didn't execute it that well and it looked easier. Like, it was just, they just blew him up in 2 seconds. It was nothing.
Yeah, like pretty standard charm fight.
Yeah. Piper goes by. She cheerily says she's going out. And Phoebe's like, oh, she's
So sad.
which is supposed to be empathy powers, not just like, oh, that's sad.
But with Phoebe, it's hard to tell.
Chris is like, all right, let's just kill 3 more demons and then we're good. And like, what, you got like a quota here? Like, when are we gonna kill 3 more demons? And Phoebe is so fucking condescending to him. She's like,
we like you really well and all, but we've been doing this longer than you, so we gotta pace ourselves. And also, you gotta let us have a life, because I got a lunch date.
Just shut up.
Yeah, it's like, it starts out like it kind of makes sense. Like, it's like, okay, yeah, pace yourselves, I guess. And then she's just like, oh yeah, because I have a lunch date. And it was, shut up. Oh, she says, like, I have a lunch date with this DJ who I'm not that into. Also, and it's not Jason. So it's even worse than just a date. It's a cheaty date.
Yeah, if they had, like, you can tweak this. So, like, the 2-headed demon thing is actually a tough battle. They are hurt after this. Yeah. Then you can have her say stuff to this effect and have it make sense. But when you just make it so easy and it feels like, well, this is cutting into their lunch dates, like, you just make them unlikable shrews.
Well, we see no evidence that they've just been fighting so many demons they're exhausted. If they did that, then it'd be like, yeah, okay, you do need to pace yourself, right? Because otherwise you're going to slip up and you're going to get hurt. And like, these aren't like urgent situations and that like they're not going to rescue someone in particular. They're just hunting demons that happen to exist and I guess are evil. Yeah. So it's like, you could have shown them fighting all of these things and how exhausted they were and that he's running them ragged, but they don't. It just seems like they're like, I got a mani-pedi and I can't be bothered with this.
Mm-hmm. Like, Charmed is like a masterclass on how to not write likable main characters. Like, you can just horrible. Look at Phoebe, you just have people thrusting praise upon her while she complains about everything and tries to make everything about her. It's just like, oh. You created this vortex, like this black hole of likability, and everything gets sucked into it. Nothing is there. She's dead.
At this point in the episode, no more than maybe a couple hours has to have passed, because Phoebe started out the episode doing her Smash Mouth bikini interview, is still in her bikini. Her hair's not even mussed. She fought a demon in a bikini. And she's like, oh, I can't, we're too tired. I have to go on a lunch date. I cannot with this.
Yeah.
It's like, you haven't even sweated off your body glitter or anything. Like, come on.
Yeah. She has to go on this lunch date with a guy she even admits she's not that into.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not even into him, so I don't know why she agreed to do. I guess maybe it's supposed to be her empathy powers because she felt his horniness. So she's like, I'm gonna go on a date with this guy. If we're being generous. Maybe. They don't really explain that.
Naked woman!
It's like, she have no self-control anymore?
I guess. I mean, she is supposed to be kind of like not able to control it right now.
Yeah, it's stupid though.
It is stupid. So Chris is like, how about just 2 demons? How about you guys just kill 2 demons? And Phoebe's like, no, now we gotta fix Piper. Now she cares about fixing Piper if it means they don't have to save anyone else.
Yeah.
And Paige is like, I don't know, I think Leo did something to her before he went to Elderland, which seems awful suspicious. I mean, she's right, but why do they think that Leo did this? Why do they suspect him?
Yeah.
Phoebe's like, well, why don't we just get his butt down here and we'll interrogate him? And Chris is like, yeah, no, you can't do that, actually. He's been missing since he left. Sorry, I didn't tell you about that. My bad.
Ever since I exploded him into particles, he hasn't been seen.
He could just say that, like, he's been out of contact on some Elder mission and then, like, have them harbor more resentment, and that means he's apart longer if he's trying to just keep them apart.
Do the rest of the elders not keep any tabs on any of this stuff, though?
It used to be they were listening in all the time because they were like, Leo and Piper can't get together or they will have pain unimaginable or something, but now it's just like, they got that new guy watching them. It's cool.
New guy's watching them. Leo's been missing for months. Let's not look into this at all.
Yeah, why wouldn't they ask the Charmed Ones about this or be like, hey, Chris, you've been asking about this? And he's, oh, yeah, they're not interested. They got dates. Oh, that seems typical. All right, fine, whatever. We don't want to deal with this.
If they actually had stuff like that, that would be great, because at least show the show is a little self-aware about how terrible their characters are.
It would be like a VIP situation, you know? Like, they're kind of the unlikely heroes, but they gotta deal with them. You know, all right.
You have to give VIP more props for its writing than Charmed. There's something sad going on here.
VIP, just as bouncy as I wrote Smash Cut, but I want to say Smash Mouth Cut, actually. Yes. Yeah. Smash Mouth Cut to helicopters. There's suddenly like a scene from Vietnam happening. I don't know where this is, what this situation is, but apparently there's helicopters and soldiers fighting. Mm-hmm. Was this supposed to be the Iraq War? Was that going on when this was airing?
Maybe. I'm not sure of the year.
I feel like by season 6 it might have been. Yeah, it was 2003, so I think maybe it doesn't look like Iraq. I don't know what's going on, but there's some sort of fight going on in that botanical garden that they filmed in for most of this episode.
Yeah.
And there's a soldier who's down. Mist flushes on in. You get a flush mist. And she's gonna bring his ghost to Valhalla. She like sucks his spirit into a bottle.
She goes, ooh, a delicious soul.
Sucks him in like a Mac and Me alien into a straw.
Yeah, just gets a vacuum.
Meanwhile, P3 has been turned into a daycare.
This is so idiotic.
Apparently, Piper being cheery means she cares about kids, which feels like maybe she should care about them a little more in her normal self. But she's just obsessed with like play dates and stuff. So she's just like, well, I ran out of room at my house with all these play dates, so I'm gonna just turn P3 during the day into a daycare.
Yeah, sure. Just set the baby over there by the vodka bottles. It's great.
Daryl and Sheila, his wife, are there dropping off Daryl Jr.
Daryl Jr.
So funny. They ask how she's doing, what with Leo being missing and all, and she's like, well, there's no use crying over spilled milk. This seems in character. I don't know why they're so worried.
Yeah.
Paige and Phoebe show up, and Phoebe's got her empathy powers. She's just like, hey, you guys are worried about what's going on here, and Paige is like, don't worry about her. She's just being a little annoying.
It's a little.
But her, like, caring about how other people feel at least going like, hey, what's wrong is different than her just inserting herself into everyone else's story. So I feel like in that case, it's like, well, shouldn't she care a little bit about how people feel?
Yeah. But she's being more accusatory at people rather than feeling like she's worried about them. Hey, you don't really feel that. What are you thinking?
Tell me your feelings.
I know what you're really thinking.
Tell them to me.
You're actually worried. Tell me why.
So Phoebe has changed outfits. This is what she will be wearing through much of this episode. She's wearing this white tank top with this kind of like translucent rainbow skirt around it or something.
Yeah.
It's real weird.
Like it goes like around the middle of her midsection, not like down like a normal skirt.
Yeah, like it's a bunch of tulle or something like underneath the boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very early 2000s top for sure. In that it's very ugly and regrettable.
Just like Phoebe on the inside. Very ugly and regrettable.
Yes. So they go over to Piper to tell her that Leo's missing, not just in Elderland, but he's gone. And she's pretty unconcerned about it. And she's like,
He'll turn up sooner or later.
Why worry?
Me worry?
Anyway, Valhalla. So they went to some sort of botanical gardens in California, and they're filming Valhalla. This looks a lot less Nordic than I would think Valhalla would look, to be honest.
I don't think this is anyone's real thoughts on what Valhalla might look like.
Did anyone think Valhalla was some sort of tropical paradise?
Yeah, that's the way this starts too, and the kind of even the music seems to be saying that. Like, I get the feeling like we're about to be tried to be sold on an island as this footage starts introducing us to Valhalla.
Yeah. All of a sudden, it's Baywatch Hawaii. Like, man, the Hilton Hawaiian's gonna show up.
Yeah. On your next vacation, think Valhalla.
You know what? Go to warm, sunny Valhalla. You know why they did this? It wasn't even because of the shooting location, because they could have probably faked somewhere colder, but it's because they wanted to put them in the sexy bikini outfits.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole village of just bikini women and other various warriors in warrior costumes through the ages fighting. Dollar store Xena is what I wrote. You got like some wire work and some women flipping around.
I mean, they even make a Xena reference later.
They do, yeah. Mist is greeted by Freya, who brings her the soldier ghost in a bottle. She's got a ghost in a bottle, baby. They're like, hey, dude, you're in warrior heaven, but first you gotta fight our champion.
Now making his way to the crappy ring, Leo.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, so they've got Leo there in this flimsy bamboo cage, and he's in this gladiator outfit, I guess, for some reason. Why is he in a gladiator outfit?
For the shocking reveal.
Everyone else, I kind of assumed, were in the outfits that they died in, doing warrior stuff, but why does he have... What does this have to do with Valkyries? It's just some gladiator outfit.
Nothing to do with anything. It's just because they wanted to put a helmet on him and then have it come off and be like, whoa, it's Leo. No thought besides that, I am sure.
Because he did it like the Masked Singer, you know, it's some sort of cartoon animal or helmet on. Who's our champion? Whoa! Yeah, this cage looks like it could just be blown over. You just... and it falls over.
Yeah.
Does not look like it would keep anyone in.
There has to be a lot of magic reinforcement on this, because like, we're going to skip out on the actual physical materials. Like, just cast like several dozen spells on that, please.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there is supposed to be magic on it that he can't orb out, which is why he's trapped there.
Well, that's just the cave, though, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, that's where the cage was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could throw swords out of it. No problem. I love how they act like this is so cool when he comes out in this gladiator outfit and, like, we won't know who it is. Like, yeah. Remember, he's genetically a pacifist.
But his time here has changed him. He says that a few times.
He's gritty, Leo.
She said, I'm rogue Leo now.
A rogue demon hunter.
Yeah.
It's a rogue demon.
Stop ganging up on me!
Anyway, so yeah, a bunch of scantily clad Valkyries are just laying around stroking each other so they can watch this fight between him and the soldier guy. They've made his spirit solid for this fight.
Yeah. One of the Valkyries is stuck in some kind of time loop on a boat. Just making that dumb reference.
Oh, right, yeah. No one's gonna know what you're talking about.
Yeah, one of them's played by Melissa George, who's the lead of Triangle.
They're acting like Valhalla is supposed to be the warrior afterlife, and they bring all these souls here, but it is a physical place. It's just not on the map. It's just an uncharted island, so how does this work?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how this works, because you can just go there. If you were just on a boat, you could just arrive at Valhalla.
Yeah. I mean, I assume they want people there when they're trying to sell us on vacationing at Valhalla.
Buy a timeshare in Valhalla.
So it's on the other side of the island than where they're training the dead people, so if you don't want to see them, you don't have to.
They got a big wall up in the middle.
We've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas.
So Ghost Man fights Leo and ends up stabbed in 2 seconds.
They're like, he's a good fighter. Let's train him. What?
Yeah, he gets killed in 2 seconds, or stabbed. I guess
Yeah,
he can't die. I don't know how you stab a ghost, but he gets stabbed.
It's a total squash match.
Yeah, he gets immediately, and then they're like, he fought well. Let's heal him up and train him. It's like, what does it take to fight badly in this case? You trip over onto your own sword, or what?
They're really just hard up in their jobber division in Valhalla.
Brutus Beefcake.
Can't believe this.
Oh, he'll be the Zodiac.
No.
No. Yes. No. Leo's like, hey, you gotta let me go. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not a fallen warrior or anything. You guys are good guys. You gotta let me out of here. And Freya's like, you're an elder. You have much to teach my warriors. What? What is he teaching them?
Teaching them not to make big mistakes. Who knew they marry?
And if you ever see a charmed one, run the other way. They didn't heed his lesson.
No.
Thus many of them die. Like, they said that white lighters are genetically pacifist, so I don't really know what shit they have to teach warriors. Maybe, maybe I'm not being fair. Maybe it's like Ninja Turtles, There's more than fighting in the way of a warrior,
It's like, are elders pacifists, though?
No, they're big bitches and they're always causing fights.
Yeah, so, like, he's not a white lighter anymore, so now he's, like, opened up to murder.
Yeah. Oh, he murders so many people in this episode.
He does have a body count.
He does have a body count. The show does not treat any of these deaths with the gravity it deserds, by the way.
No,
like, this
Charmed
is
is always
murder.
bad at that, though. Like, death is cheap is, like, a theme of Charmed.
Alright, so we cut to Chris creepily staring out a window. What the fuck? Paige is scrying in the background while he's sitting there haunted, I guess.
Yeah. I'm just being casual.
Yeah, they even play some creepy music. Like, they're like, I don't know how else to play this off. He looks like a creep. So whoever's scoring this, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Paige is just trying anything to try and scry for Leo. Like, she's scrying outer space to look for Leo. And she's like, don't worry, I focused it with one of his plaid shirts. He loves plaid shirts. I did think that was kind of a funny joke, pointing out how he's always wearing those.
Yeah.
Phoebe comes in with her great power of empathy. She says Chris is nervous. There's something going on. She couldn't have figured that out just by looking at him, staring out the window.
She doesn't turn into a pile of nerves, though, just because Chris is nervous.
No.
I feel like Phoebe's still letting some of these things influence her more or not.
Yeah, just when it can have the most drama focused on her.
Yeah.
Chris is like, all this stuff with Leo's stupid. We gotta focus on Piper, actually, because without Piper's powers working correctly, that means that you guys could be in trouble in case you need a power 3 spell or whatever. So Paige is like, well, we could unblock her pain that she's blocking out with a magical laxative.
I want that to be a They slip Piper a magical laxative.
You're a magical laxative. Yes, burn. Boom roasted.
They give Daryl one of those later.
Yeah.
He shits his soul right out.
Well, flush that soul right down the toilet.
Exactly what they do. The toilet portal.
So Paige is like, hey, if we write this spell to make her remember her pain, then we might be able to find Leo based on nothing. She just pulls this out of her ass and they act like this is a thing. Mm-hmm. Phoebe's like, all right, I gotta go to the phone. And Paige is like,
who you calling, spells are us?
And then Phoebe's like,
no, I'm calling to cancel my date.
This is great because she finds out he canceled on her first and she's mad.
Yeah, so she calls the restaurant to tell him, because she's late for this date already. She's like...
Yeah, she's already late.
Yeah, so she's basically stood him up unintentionally. So she's like, I gotta call the restaurant to talk to him to say I gotta cancel this date. And the restaurant's like, oh, he told us that he's actually can't make it, so he stood you up. And then she's mad about being stood up after standing him up. Yeah. And she's like, well, I found out through the restaurant, like, I at least called him. Like, you called him after he'd already... You were late anyway, so what does it matter? And you didn't even like the guy.
Yeah, super petty. And of course, she's going to turn this into a whole day thing. It's like, we have other stuff to do, Phoebe. No, I'm going down to the beach to yell at him.
Oh, yeah. She immediately abandons this help Piper thing to go to the beach to bitch at this guy. This is the worst. This is so awful. She goes there and she gives this condescending ass speech about how, like, why do men never call when they ask for dates, or why do they stand women up? And then he's actually intimidated by successful women and like, shut up. None of this describes your situation at all. No. You're a bitch. You didn't like him and he stood you up after you stood him up, and like, shut up. Yeah. Take the L, loser. You were cheating on your boyfriend anyway.
Yeah. Screw you, Phoebe.
She has nothing to stand on in this argument at all.
Oh, why would he, like, did he just suddenly realize she was successful too in between the date making and then actually supposed to go? Because that's all his radio set with her was about. How successful and amazing she is.
It's possible he was just being a horn dog on the radio and didn't think she was actually going to follow through with the date with him, maybe. Maybe that was what was going on here.
Oh, no.
Like, silly. Oh, yeah, I didn't actually really want to go on a date.
Well, her feelings should have told her that then, with her big empathy. I feel you want to ask me on a date, but not really... But sort of, I don't know.
Man, I hate this speech. I hate this speech because it's so emblematic of what Charmed thinks female empowerment is, and it just pisses me off. It pisses me off because it's like, this is not a strong female character doing any of this stuff. She's such an asshole, and not in a way that it's like, oh, she's flawed. Because that would be a strong female character, is like, you actually have flaws and you acknowledge them. But the way that she acts so condescending and like, you know, this is men and this is women and when will they ever get along and blah, blah, blah. It just annoys the shit out of me.
Naked woman!
Yeah, the show has to acknowledge the flaws and the characters have to grow from them or something if you're going to have these be a part of them. But yeah, just Phoebe acts higher than thou, even though she's cheating on her actual boyfriend with any of this.
Especially when you're cheating on your boyfriend, you really can't give any of these speeches at all.
You can't come down and complain that he canceled a date that you wanted to cancel anyway. Like,
yeah, she's a woman that's complaining because a date got canceled with a guy that she was going to cheat on her boyfriend with anyway, and then complains later in the episode because her boyfriend comes back from the trip and he's so horny that she feels the horniness, and then they have sex in the office, and all of this is such an inconvenience for her.
Yeah.
Like, shut up.
Again, it's like Phoebe's able to shrug off some of these emotions thrust on her at various times in this episode, but then there's times where, oh, she just says it's so strong, so she's got to stay there. It's like she just wanted to screw around with her boyfriend after he got back. It's like, shut up, Phoebe, we know what you're up to. You just didn't want to help like usual.
Anyway, a dog is humping Paige. There's a whole lot of problematic stuff from this. This is an assault. Canonically in the episode, it's an assault.
Yeah.
just so you know.
We learn what this dog really is.
Anyway, Piper comes home, and she's brought a bunch of babies home from work. She's just collected them all like Pokemon.
Yeah, so she is high then, right?
Yeah, she's just totally high, and she's obsessed with the babies. So Paige has this memory spell written down. So anyway, she casts it on her, and then Piper now has amnesia. This episode's all over the place. This two-parter goes all sorts of different places. This amnesia thing is just a very temporary part of it. Like, there's 10 million different plots.
So now they have a bunch of babies in the house and no one to look after them, which becomes a big issue. Actually, it doesn't.
No one cares. This episode doesn't know what amnesia is. Like, it's like she just walks around acting clueless, but she never, like, is, like, weirded out or questioning any of this stuff. Like, they're talking around her like she can't hear them, and apparently she can't.
Yeah.
I just don't really understand why she reacts the way she does or doesn't react the way she does. She's just sort of like, oh, that's weird. Anyway, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it's very weird. 'Cause, yeah, they talk about her a couple feet away and she just stands there listening to them talk about her like it's not happening.
Yeah. She tries to swat a fly away and ends up exploding some flowers with her powers. And again, does not freak out at this. It's just like, oh, that was weird. Wouldn't you think it was crazy that you just blew up something with powers and you have no memory? And then, like, Phoebe comes in and is talking about...
They're in a house full of babies, too.
They're in a house full of babies?
They be a little concerned
about...
she might accidentally blow up a few babies.
Yeah, no, they're not theirs. They don't care. There's only one of them's theirs.
One of them.
What are the odds that she's going to get that one? Come on.
She'll have to go through a few of them before she hits Wyatt.
They're going to create, like, a baby force field with all the other babies around Wyatt. And they're like,
well, if she gets him, I mean, he's evil in the future anyway, right?
Wyatt will, like, orb them in front of him and she tries to blow him up.
Oh, you
Baby
know
shield.
He was doing that. We don't know what happened with all those babies. That's what happened.
Wyatt's like Xavier. X-Men, mutant shield in front of me.
Protect me above all else.
I am the heart of the operation. You are all expendable. Save me.
I'm gonna guess your card. Oh, you don't even have real powers, do you?
We will never know.
Anyway, so baby Wyatt orbs a pacifier into his mouth, steals it from another baby. What a little shit.
No, he sticks it in the other baby's mouth because it's crying.
Oh, he's shutting the baby up?
Yeah.
I thought he took it for himself. I didn't know which baby was him.
Yeah.
All babies look alike.
No, just from the dialogue. That's why I knew.
Oh, okay. Okay, well that happens. That gives Paige an idea to basically use Wyatt to help scry. I'm not really sure how his orbing had anything to do with it, but apparently that gives her that idea.
She's gonna use him as a battery, basically.
Yeah. Get the juice. Phoebe comes home. She starts excitedly telling Piper about her new empathy power. I don't know why she's excited, because don't they always complain about everything? Like,
I got a new power, me.
She complains about enough anyway.
But anyway, Piper has amnesia, so she doesn't know. She's just like, la, 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 la. She doesn't care about this lady telling her about powers or the fact she blew up a base or nothing. Nothing going on there. Maybe it's because of her no worries power with the amnesia? Is that the idea?
Maybe, yeah.
The spells that she has no worries?
Yeah, she just kind of goes, whoa, man. Can you also blow things up like me?
Whoa. 420 blaze it.
That is wild.
That is wild. She got the Galvin.
Yeah.
Your ass is grass, and I'm gonna smoke it!
Chris comes in, he's like, she's got amnesia, idiot. They find Paige scrying with Wyatt, using his powers, sucking it up. Phoebe yells at her about the amnesia thing, but then she feels her guilt, and then she's not yelling at her anymore. And then Chris is like, your sister, shouldn't you bitch at her more? And it's like, how? When is anyone happy? When is anyone happy about anything?
Yeah. You guys are complaining too much. Oh, you didn't complain at her enough, actually.
What do you want? What do you want, show? So Paige finds Leo, and her and Phoebe orb on out to the middle of the ocean, which happens to be, like, they're like, oh, this is the middle of the ocean. There's nothing there. Well, maybe there is something there. What if they were wrong? What if they just orbed in the middle of the ocean?
It would be a much better episode.
They're like, take the dogs back to their home. See ya, Chris. They go over to the botanical gardens of Valhalla. They find Leo in 2 seconds. They just walk in and, like, no one's there.
Valhalla's really small, I guess.
It's really small, yeah. They go to the one part of the island that they're at.
They've been taking all these dead warriors for years, but yeah, it's just like a little path down to their one Leo cave.
Yeah, it's like they don't come across any of the other warriors, nothing. This is supposed to be where all the warriors in the afterlife have gone or whatever, but nothing. They just wander into the little bamboo hut.
Yeah. It should have a better gladiator cave if they've been doing this all these years and, you know, all these dead warriors. Like, do they never have, like, tag team matches or anything? Like, you couldn't even fit one of those in that shitty little cage.
They just have lame-ass elder fights where they get stabbed in 2 seconds. And they're like, learn from this, warriors. He will teach you.
Learn from this. Double disqualification. No one wins, including the audience.
Put him in a sleeper hold. It's a fan favorite. Crowd pleaser. Anyway, Phoebe's like,
do you like my hair?
And notice, he does not answer.
It's kind of similar to mine right now. I got little tiny bangs going on.
Yeah. I think Leo got kind of a haircut, too. I feel like the tiny bangs are less, they're less jarring when it's a pixie cut, though, because it's all around. Like, it's just when you have the long hair and the little fringe haircut where it's like, let's not.
Leo's does look kind of similar, though, because he's got, like, little tiny bangs falling down after his big gladiator fights, I guess.
They trying to do, like, the Caesar cut that was kind of popular in the 90s.
Yeah.
To go with his gladiator outfit. Anyway, some Valkyries come in, and they just start kicking their asses. They just start getting their asses handed to them. Mm-hmm. So Leo just throws 2 swords through the cage, like, on either side, and then horribly murders them?
Yeah. Keep in mind, Valkyries are good. And
and he's not even that mad at them, also. Like, he's like, in the end, he's just like, yeah, they were doing their job, but I don't really care. But he murdered them.
Yeah. He's like, I'm changed, Leo, though. This place, the horrors, they make me come out and beat someone for, like, a minute. And then they're like, good job. That was a great showcase. That guy's in.
They made me stab a ghost. The horrors.
That's ghosts that they go, all right, let's heal him up and put him in our little ranks.
Yeah, I don't... What are they talking about? Why is he murdering people? And then they're just like,
good job, Leo.
Like, nobody cares.
No, they're actively murdering people on the good side.
Yeah, and then Paige is like, I didn't know you had it in ya, all casual. And he's just like, yeah, well, I've changed. I'm gritty Leo now.
Why did you say that name?
They hear more Valkyries coming, so they're like, oh, we're gonna orb out for now. We'll be back. Peace. They go back home, and Chris complains at them. And he's like, well, you could have gotten killed. And they're just the giggle twins. They're the giggle twins over there. Like, Phoebe's like,
what's up with Leo's skirt that he was wearing?
And Paige is like,
at least it wasn't plaid.
And then Chris is like, take this seriously, guys.
Just got word, Leo's dead. They found the 2 dead Valkyries and they executed them.
He did, yeah, he was just like, I told you I didn't belong here, so they just act like, oh, he killed them out of spite, and then, like, it's fine.
Yeah, this is bizarre. It makes no sense why the Valkyries are cool with this.
Yeah. So, they look up the Valkyries in the Book of Shadows. They find out that they are demigoddesses who take the souls of warriors, they train them up to prepare for the ultimate battle between good and evil. Do we ever see these warrior spirits or all this stuff during the ultimate battle of good and evil where they fight Billy and Christy? No. It was just a stupid 4-person battle, but whatever. They're like, well, why do they have Leo over there? Like, he's not a fallen warrior. this doesn't match up with the MO of what Valkyries would do. They're not even necessarily bad guys. Why do they have him? And Chris is like, don't worry about it. He's not even really in trouble over there. It's fine. He's acting so suspicious, and yet everyone just like bends over backwards to defend him. Yeah. It just makes no sense. Like, he doesn't lie well, and he's an asshole. So like, there's no reason why everyone should believe him. Yeah, it gets even worse once they get Leo out of there and he starts questioning things blatantly, and they just go, "Oh, Leo, don't worry about that right now." Yeah, you're just being an idiot, Leo. Who cares if every excuse he has is super flimsy? It's all good. They're being all pushy about it, and I guess Chris just gets tired of hearing their shrieking voices, so he's just like, alright, fine. Well, the only way you're gonna get in there safely is if you have a Valkyrie's pendant. You gotta go undercover with a warrior's soul, and have that warrior's soul prove themselves worthy. That's how you're gonna get in with the Valkyries. So, cut to Chris finding a Valkyrie, some rando Valkyrie we've not seen before. He knows her, though. He knows her, yeah. Yeah, they're like, we were friends! Yeah. Force chokes her to death. He force chokes her. Yeah, he's like, things have changed. My bad. I gotta kill you. He murders this woman horribly. Again, they're good guys. She's not even necessarily part of this, like, Leo plot. Like, she just happens to be collecting a warrior's soul for her thing. Yeah. He only does this to steal her Valkyrie pendant. Yeah, he does it to steal the pendant. And for the girls, and he apparently does this with more of them because he has like 3 pendants in the end, and it's like, okay, so he killed 2 more. Yeah, he killed these people for no fucking reason. Yeah. Did he have these? For all of you that say like, oh yeah, the Chris thing, that was so well planned out. What a great twist. Well, never forget. He's never called to task for this. Did he have these force choking powers later? I feel like he doesn't. Yeah, I feel like that'd be too useful, so he probably doesn't. I don't remember that. I remember they showed Nickelback Wyatt using force choking powers. But yeah, he never called to task for this. Later on in the series, like there's never any like, hey Chris, you murdered a lot of people and did a lot of evil shit. They act like he was like just a misunderstood good guy the whole time. This was not their plan. They were not planning to have him be Piper's other son. No. There was some other idea here. And even if it wasn't, you still have to come up with reasons for this. Like, you can't just be like, forget that. Yeah. Remember when he murdered people just to take their pendants? Yeah. Like, the Valkyries are more horrified later that some of their warriors get out and kill some random people. And, like, they're sad about it, at least. Yeah. They have more empathy than he does, and apparently they don't have any feelings. They say that, like, Valkyries don't feel emotions like that. I don't know. Very strange. So, the girl's got to find a warrior's soul next. Where are they going to find it? Well, Daryl's not using his, right? You don't need him for a little bit? He's a soulless man. Soulless Train was the thing he hosted. Yeah. So they rock up to him while he's making an arrest in this brightly lit neon alley. Like, where is this? Yeah. A really bright, like, club alley. It's like the most colorful alleyway. Yeah. And they're like, can we have your soul, please? And he's like, I'm a hard no on that. Okay, we'll do it anyway. Yeah, while he's walking away, they hit him with a potion and kill him to steal his soul. This is your heroes, everyone. Assholes. Our heroes are murdering people left and right. Friends. Doesn't matter if they're friends, enemies, whatever. They'll kill you. Like, this should be a big deal. It should be a big worry doing this, too, to someone they care about. Like, okay, we might kill Daryl with this. Like, there should be a lot of thought and worry put into this plan, but it's just like, shut up, Daryl. Yeah, they don't care at all. They take his soul without his consent, and, like, it's a wonder it took so long for Daryl to get to that point where he's like, I don't want anything to do with you guys anymore, because it's like, they really, like, misused his friendship. They abused his friendship too much on this show. This should be a point where he's like, I want nothing to do with you. Yeah, line crossed. No babysitter is worth this. I'm taking Daryl Jr. to another daycare center. Sorry. There are better daycares out there than the one in a nightclub, believe it or not. Wow, really? I do like his reaction. So his soul's standing outside his body, and he just looks like, oh man.
Yeah.
Just annoyed, and then they suck him into a bottle. Shoop.
Yeah. Don't bother to explain it to him really that much either. Just like, get in the bottle. Shut up.
Get in the bottle.
Get in the bottle, get in the bottle, Daryl. I was gonna say Leo. I'm always yelling at Leo. Get in the bottle, Daryl. You're gonna fight Leo in a gladiatorial combat. No problem.
They never explain that to him either. He gets thrown in there, and they're like, what? What?
That's cruel.
So yeah, back at the manor, Chris has put one of the Valkyrie pendants on Piper, and has magically put her into a sexy outfit. And he just tells her she's a Valkyrie, and she believes it. But apparently she's like a robot or something, because like he turns around, does not walk any distance away from her, and is talking to Paige and Phoebe about this, and just saying all of these things in front of her as if she can't hear them. Like, oh yeah, I told her she's a Valkyrie, and we better hope that she doesn't find out that she's not, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, what? She's right there. Would she not hear? Is she deaf?
Like, I don't understand too, like the pendant just like programs in basic Valkyrie knowledge or what? Like, how's that?
He just
work?
says that he told her that she's a Valkyrie, but
Yeah,
I guess it must give them some sort of Valkyrie abilities, because they do talk about later how they are Valkyries because of the pendant.
Piper seems to know like that they collect warrior souls and stuff. Like, just telling her she's a Valkyrie wouldn't fill you in on everything.
Yeah, I think the pendants do turn them into Valkyries, because they're like, well, they're Valkyries, but not, they're like impure
it changes
or something.
their clothes.
It changes their clothes. Well, this is pretty typical for this show, isn't it? Like, your outfit changes and you're a fairy. I don't know. Yeah. You're a sprite this week. You're a vampire because you wore black. They're like, well, Piper's going to be pissed when she gets her memory back, because she hates wearing these costumes as much as we do. They think that they're like lampshading this.
Yeah.
You can't just lampshade it and then just do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do. He gives them pendants too, from all those Valkyries that he killed. And they don't ask how he got them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they might have found this stuff out. And they flush on over to Valhalla in their sexy costumes so they can do the slow motion opening credits walk.
Oh, yeah. They start doing like the flash cutting back and forth too to try and make it look super cool. This is so stupid.
It's embarrassing.
It is.
It's super embarrassing. Like, look how sexy we are. Yeah.
You get secondhand embarrassment watching this scene. You really do.
It's so try hard. So yeah, they do their sexy walk. Meanwhile, the Valkyries are also doing sexy stuff. They're lounging sexily in the little bamboo hut. When the girls march in and they're like, hey, we got a warrior soul. And they're like, yeah, quick question, who are you? They don't even bother trying to introduce themselves or come up with something. They're just like, hey, we got a warrior soul for you. And they're like, yeah, new guy. What's your name? Who are you?
Like, you know us. We're the Valkyries who have a soul. Pops out Daryl.
Yeah, Piper's like, hey, maybe you'll recognize this. And then they pop out Daryl's soul as if that answers the question. It's like, well, that doesn't answer anything.
Is that all you have to do? You just come in with a soul and they're like, yeah, I guess. I've never seen you before, but sure, you must be one of us.
Yeah, I guess so. Cool. Throw him in the cage. So he gets in there and with Leo, and I guess if he's impaled, he'll just have fought well and then get a ticket into Warrior Heaven. Mm-hmm. So win-win for Daryl.
Daryl loses so badly, though. Even the Valkyries are like, nah.
Yeah, they're fighting, and Piper recognizes Leo, so she starts to remember everything. And then Paige is like, kill him! But who's she talking to? Which one is she saying to kill?
Yeah, very weird.
And then Daryl gets knocked over, and Leo's like, hey, stay down. And Paige is like, hey, sorry for sending you such a wiener soul. Yeah, we'll get rid of him. He sucks.
This, for some reason, convinces them, too, because she's like, we'll get rid of him. We'll send him to the hereafter or something. And they're like, oh, yeah, sure, that sounds right.
I thought they were already in the hereafter. It's a different hereafter. It's the afterlife from the afterlife.
I don't know.
But they just go like, very well, and then all leave the hut except for them.
Like, Paige actually says, or something. Like,
or something. Yeah, they're really bad at this, and they're just like, cool, wander out. And then they just get them out super easy. They're like, cool. And then they just leave. They grab Leo and Daryl and then leave. challenge to this whatsoever.
No.
So as they're wandering away, really the problem that comes in is their own stupidity. So they're wandering away, and Phoebe starts feeling Piper's pain.
Wait, Paige has to help Phoebe out of the cave because Phoebe is playing this up so much. Well, like Piper behind her, who's actually feeling this stuff, is walking normally. She's fucking what's his face? She's Paul Rubens in the Buffy movie when he's dying. Like, yeah.
Oh, my mistake.
Yeah, so Phoebe, of course, has got to make the Piper and Leo situation all about fucking her. So Leo's like, hey, Piper, yeah, I used my powers to get rid of your pain. And then Phoebe complains as if she is Piper. Like, she's like, you ran away from us and your children and blah, 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 blah. So Piper just stands in the background while Phoebe does this whole spiel.
And like during this bit, Piper has her memory intact again for this little bit here. So she could be doing some of this herself, but no, it has to be about Phoebe.
It's so weird. This whole thing is about making her feel her emotions. And by the time she gets her emotions, she's not emotional. Like, you think that's when, like, the flood, like, the dam breaks and the flood comes out. But there's never that moment, which is weird. Yeah. It's all through Phoebe. Phoebe is the one that does the most.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to do any of this the way they do it.
No. While Phoebe is screaming, the Valkyries hear her from near and far. Her bitching just echoes throughout the land. It's like Princess Bride, the sound of suffering.
You'd like to think that, wouldn't you?
So Phoebe starts punching Leo.
Yeah.
Via Piper's feelings, I guess. Piper is just cannot handle Phoebe being such an idiot, so she retreats into herself and decides to just become full Valkyrie. Yeah. And Phoebe doesn't feel her anymore when this happens. So they're like, leave her behind!
Yeah.
Jump into the little flushing portal.
Well, Piper's done. Let's go.
See ya. I think Paige even says that, like, leave her!
Yeah, they do. She's gone. R.I.P. Piper.
Yeah. Anyway, on to part 2!
2 hours later.
They flush into that alley where Daryl's body is still laying on the ground. And he's like, hey, am I still alive? And Phoebe's like, yeah, barely. Like, casually, like, who cares?
Yeah, they don't care at all. They tell him he can jump in his own body at any point, but they don't even stay to make sure he gets back in his body correctly or anything. Yeah, they just orb out
and they're like, see ya. Yeah, whatever, you can deal with this. Like, what jerks?
Yeah.
What jerks?
Ugh.
Oh my goodness.
Ungrateful. So, he jumps back into his body, only to immediately come face to face with a bunch of the warriors from Valhalla have flushed in there.
Yeah.
They throw him into a car.
They beat the shit out of him. His face is all bloody, but they do like the comedy like bit of him like with his face against the glass of his car, like falling down. Like,
yeah, they throw him against the car. There's this hilarious like wire work shot where he's like flying parallel through the air over to this car.
Yeah. There was like this guy he was busting before the Charmed Ones came and killed Daryl. So he's like still stuck in the back of Daryl's car and he's just watching Daryl do this comedy bit.
Yeah.
Did this guy get killed? Do you think they sensed evil in him and murdered him?
Oh no. Yeah, he's dead for sure.
Yeah.
That guy died. I love the like absolute Xena physics of this wire work, like going just like straight sideways, like perpendicular. Like there's no logic to this. Yeah, so that was tremendous. Then we get a never-ending montage of cityscape shots with replacement music. Mm-hmm. Like they were running short.
Yeah, that's what it felt
I don't know if this was from like maybe the syndicated version. This might have aired as one part and then they had to like pad it out a little as 2 parts. Maybe, but it goes on forever.
Usually I feel there's stuff they cut from a full-length version versus a 2-parter.
That's true. Maybe they just had nothing.
Oh, I don't know. We've got nothing here.
Maybe they had scenes where they actually call people to task and they're like, that's just filler. Cut. More cityscapes, please.
They're like learning their lessons and growing now.
Yeah, Holly Marie Combs and Alyssa Milano called a veto on that one. I'm like,
No! Absolutely not. We need to have more scenes.
Lesson not learned.
We're going to shoot extra scenes where people are like, you're so cool and sexy. You're going to fill it in with that.
Anyway, so they go to the house, and then Leo starts just beating the shit out of Chris.
Yeah.
And he starts to orb away. Leo grabs him mid-orb and throws him into some glass.
It's really funny, too, because, like, as he's doing another one of those slow, pointlessly extra slow orbs, like Leo did at the end of season 5 so he could get blown up. But it's like, his orb, like, rotates really silly looking so Leo can grab him and throw him.
This was, very violent but satisfying.
Yeah. Like, Leo, don't. And he's like, well, where do you even get, like, those Valkyrie pendants? Like, don't bother asking that.
Yeah, okay, first of all, they're so incurious about what's going on. How did he get the Valkyrie pendants? But also, Leo doesn't really have any room to judge here because he just murdered 2 Valkyries, like, for no reason. Mm-hmm. So, like father, like son, I guess.
Okay.
When this is going on, Phoebe makes it all about her. She's like,
The hostility is killing me. Stop it.
She is so annoying. It's like...
Yeah, every other scene, it's like, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
Yeah, she makes you say it. Like, you're so annoyed with her watching this every time she makes it about her.
It's infuriating, and it keeps stopping the story, too, because you gotta listen to her bitch.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It's like the scene is happening, and then she goes, these feelings are affecting me, and then everyone has to stop and look at her. Like, shuts the whole thing down. Stop. Phoebe time.
She might as well just start, like, banging pots and pans, like, look at me, look at me, look at me. So Leo's like, yeah, I can tell you sent me to Valhalla. It was Chris. And they're like, no, he wouldn't do it. And he's like, I don't know. Maybe it's like they gaslight him into believing it's not him. It's like, it was obviously him. You were orbing away and then he did it. Like,
yeah.
But all of a sudden, like, it's, I don't know. Maybe it's someone else. And then Phoebe's like, yeah, I know how upset you are. I know how upset you are. But the thing is, Chris has been a model white lighter, so you've been nothing but bitching about him this whole time. He's like, he was a model white lighter. Why can't you sense lying off of him? You know, you can sense everything else, you stupid bitch. Come on.
That'd be how to use this, usefully at all. So of course she's not.
No. Can't sense any of this shit. And Leo's like, yeah, what about the pendants? And they're just mad that he asked, like, ugh, come on, Leo, get over it.
Leo says something like, to be continued. Of course, it never is.
Yeah, to be continued. He's like, hey, can I see Wyatt, my son? And they're like, no, Sheila's watching him until we figure this out. When did they have time to give Wyatt to Sheila?
Yeah.
Was this before they stole her husband's soul? Like, when did they think to do this?
Yeah. They returned the babies apparently at some point, but not the dogs.
Yeah, I think some of them, like, their owners weren't home. I know with the one at the end, like, the owners weren't there, but I don't know.
Paige can orb the dogs home. In fact, they stop and have a long conversation about the fact she's going to return the dogs. And she could have orbed them home quicker than this conversation would have took. So it's just like, just orb them home.
I know, they're always just so focused on, like, the unimportant things. It's infuriating. Anyway, they change out of their sexy costumes, except for Piper, because she's still in Valhalla. And Freya's looking her over. She knows she's not a true Valkyrie, but she's like, she can be of value to us, either as an ally or lead us to the sisters or whatever, because they know they're witches. Then we cut to the warrior guys just murdering some randos by some trucks for some reason.
Yeah.
Like they've stabbed a bunch of people to death.
Yeah. And this is like, the Valkyries get upset about this. It's like, it's very unclear, because supposedly they're supposed to seek out evil and kill it, but they act like they haven't here, that these guys were innocent or just maybe slightly corrupt. I don't know.
Yeah, they have some explanation that doesn't make any sense.
Forget it! I'm not doing it! This episode was badly written!
In the attic, Chris and Leo are squabbling, and Phoebe bitches at them to knock it off.
I'm still reeling from Piper's emotions. I don't need this.
Shut up.
I don't need this. Ugh! Punch the screen! Punch the screen! And then Chris apologizes. Why is he apologizing? He's the one that hates them perhaps the most. Come on, man. Have some balls about this.
This is how you make the most unlikable character possible, Phoebe Halliwell. Take notes.
She's one of the few people in this episode we don't see murdering someone, and yet we hate her the most.
Yeah. She's just insufferable. Ugh.
So they're kind of going over everything that's happened. They're like, well, the spell on Piper to make her forget her feelings went wrong, and that's why she was so chipper. Chris slow claps for Leo. Good! And then Phoebe complains about herself again, of course. They mention a previous episode. It's stunning they remember any continuity. They're like, hey, remember when Prue was an empath? There was like an accidental thing that made her feel other people's feelings. I think maybe she heard people's thoughts. I don't remember exactly the episode. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, that almost destroyed her. And they're like, well, she wasn't actually supposed to be one. This one you're supposed to be, because you can use your powers to help Piper. And Paige is like, well, now you can use your powers to find out how Jason feels about you. You know, the guy that she was cheating on?
Yeah.
New is always better.
And Phoebe's like, well, yeah, well, what if I find out something bad? And then Paige is like,
well, you can dump him before he dumps you.
You assholes. Anyway, more comedy stylings from Daryl. He shows up at the door all beaten up. His face punched in, his eyes swollen.
Daryl, we don't have time for this.
We go back to Valhalla. All of the Valkyries are like stroking Piper's hair by a waterfall.
Yeah, this is what they do on their off hours, I guess.
It's like, why aren't you doing warrior things or something? Even then, like, if this is what you do just with other Valkyries, like, you know, she's someone who infiltrated your thing and was kind of suspicious. Why all of a sudden it's like stroking the hair, la 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 la.
No sense.
So another Valkyrie shows up and she tells Freya that the warriors on Earth, they're killing a bunch of innocents and they turned off their locators.
Yeah, they say something about them being trained to do this for this big battle versus good and evil. It's like, why are they trained to turn their locators off for this battle?
Yeah, I don't really understand the purpose of any of this. They just say it, and I guess you're supposed to go with it.
It's like, how shittily trained are these guys, too? They're just running off killing randos. Like, you guys have had some of these for a lot of years. You think they would be, like, well trained up on this subject.
Yeah, some of them seem to be in like period clothing, so it's not like they're recent dead warriors or anything. But I don't understand, like, it's not like they're mindless drones. Like, they understand when people talk to them. So what did they think the mission was when they're like, yeah, go find these sisters and do this or whatever? Like, it's like all of a sudden they're like, now it's the final battle of good and evil. Who told them that? Why did they think that?
Yeah.
And apparently it's not supposed to be the time, so the Valkyries are like, yeah, we need to find them and stop all this. They're killing innocent people. And Piper knows the city, so they're like, she'll lead the charge, this person who was suspicious and came in to do all this shit.
But Piper is actually being useful.
She is being useful. She's actually the best she's been in a long time. So at the manor, Phoebe is like, yeah, we never should put Daryl in this situation. Now you care? Why? Why do you care? Where did this come from?
I mean, murdering him was one thing, but getting beaten up, oh, that's rough.
So, she's like split personality? What is happening? Maybe she's just feeling Daryl's empathy for himself. And that's why she's only channeling it. It's not her real feelings. He's thinking, shouldn't have put him in the situation.
Yeah.
So they're talking about these warriors, and Leo is like, well, the world here isn't black and white, and they can't always tell the difference between good and evil, and that's why they're killing people. In Valhalla, it's black and white? Like, what are they talking about?
I don't know.
What are they talking about?
Like,
if that was the point, like, they were eventually going to go to Earth to do the final battle of good and evil,
yeah,
right? Like,
you
surely
need to
they
tell
should have
them,
been able
like,
to tell the difference.
Yeah, you need to recognize the actual evil people who are there to get, and, you know, just the regular people who are around. Like you guys have one job here.
Just thinking about that Kung Pao quote, like, we trained him wrong as a joke.
Yeah.
He is an idiot. We have purposely trained him wrong as a joke.
There's no way that they were trained to do anything useful if this is what they do once they get to Earth.
The Valkyries are just, like, focusing too much on the vacation packages and not as much on the training the dead anymore.
Like, we got some great drone shots of the island, but we didn't really get any good training in here.
Well, our vacation homes are bringing in way more than, the training the dead guys thing, so...
Yeah, this is more lucrative a business. We're starting some Airbnbs. So, Daryl's like, all right, these warriors are probably gonna, things are gonna start showing up on the radar because they're killing a bunch of people. So I'm gonna go to the police station, and Leo's like, yeah, you need to buy us some time in case, we need to get involved here. He's like, cool. Phoebe's like, I'm gonna go to the paper to do the same thing? Question mark?
Yeah.
What does she mean? Get ahead of what? What is she getting ahead of at the paper? And she doesn't do it when we see her there. She's useless as fucking usual. And Paige is like, all right, well, while you're doing that, I'm going to take these dogs home. Well, I think there's maybe one dog left. I'm going to take this dog back to the home so I don't lose my job. And she's like, I'm determined now more than ever to have a life separate from being a witch. Why? Has this been particularly hard on her? I don't know. Phoebe's like, we gotta let her go. This is important for her. I can feel it.
Shut up.
And then Chris is like, well, it's helpful to be an empath, doesn't it? And Phoebe's like, oh, it helps to be a sister. Thus emphasizing why this was a stupid power that we didn't need if characters just had normal human feelings.
Yeah.
You didn't need empath powers for this, did you?
If you could be normal people most of the time, you don't need to be empathic.
God. So while all the sisters are dinking around doing their own bullshit, Chris and Leo are like, let's orb to Valhalla. And then these guards are there, these dumb guy guards. And then they're like, hey Leo, how come you're out of the cage? And he's like, it's all cool. Check with the Valkyries. I'm with you now, I guess. For no reason they believe him. And he's like, yeah, I caught this intruder, this guy over here. Let Freja know.
Yeah, Freja.
And they're like, well, I can't tell Freja about this. They went into the city.
Freja's on the air right now. She's listening.
She's listening. And he's like, why don't you get out of here? And so they get out, and he takes Chris into the bamboo cage so he can toss his salad and scrambled eggs. Now that Freja's out of the way. Freja!
I feel like a seafront village after the Vikings have left.
Chris becomes the I didn't do it boy.
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't do it! I didn't do it! And he's like, you did it! I'm gonna fight you until you give me the answers. Tell me that you did it! And I didn't do it!
I give up.
No, you know who gives up? It's Leo. Because he's like, I'm gonna find out the truth and who did this to me and and then Chris is like, I didn't do it, and he's just like, I'll find out the truth eventually about who did it, as if he doesn't know that he did it, and then he leaves without finding out anything.
Yeah.
Then what was the point of this? You just beat him up for a bit and you're like, I'll find out, bye.
Yeah, this feels like this is the point to corner him here and not stop till you get the answer, and then just Leo gives up for no reason partway through it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's your loss, Leo. Chris gets the win, idiot.
Yeah. Everyone's so stupid with this Chris storyline. Meanwhile, the Valkyries have flushed into the city. That flush took a long time, didn't it?
It really did.
I thought they were already gone. I guess they got caught in the pipeline. They were they were too hard. They weren't soft enough to quite go down the pipes.
Yeah.
They had to get a plunger.
Do an underground level in Mario before they got to the next pipe.
While they're in this alley, looking at the dead bodies from their warriors, this biker thug strolls out into the alley. I guess there's some sort of biker bar nearby, and he's like, oh, is there a Xena convention in town?
Yeah.
And he's telling them to get on their knees. He's making a bunch of threatening remarks. It seems like he's going to assault them in one way or the other.
Even though the police are just down the road.
Yeah, really stupid move. But the Valkyries are like, we don't need the police for this. One of them magics him onto his knees. And then Piper's like, hey, don't do that. you don't have domain over men here. Like, he was going to hurt you in some way. Like, I think you do have domain over this guy because you've magically put him on his knees. I think you're in... I think you got the top here.
Mm-hmm. But then Piper has a light bulb go over her head and she's like, I know. Let's steal their clothing.
Yeah. He goes back into the bar and then he brings out his biker buddies to fight these people who magically attacked him. He knows they have magic powers and he's like, heh. They got like chains and they have like a few women in there because they're going to steal their outfits. Mm-hmm. So,
and their bikes.
Yeah, they're like, let's steal their bikes and their outfits will be in disguise. So they beat up all the biker guys and get into sexy outfits so that they can drive the motorcycle set to fly to the Valkyries.
Yeah. And again, this is just, a few feet away from the police investigating a crime scene where people were murdered. And they drive past Daryl like 2 seconds after this. And
yeah. Daryl watches them gormlessly, like, Phoebe is at work, being a useless sack of crap. She gets a call from one of the sisters, and she's like, on a motorcycle? That is so not Piper.
Yeah, like, she's a Valkyrie, and we left her to possibly die in Valhalla. She's on a motorcycle? This is the weirdest thing that's happened to her today.
Anyway, Jason's there. Hope he doesn't know she was going to cheat on him. They start making out. Everyone's staring like it's getting kind of hot and heavy. And but she's acting all weirded out, and he's like, hey, did you forget that I was going to fly back in today? And she's like, no.
She's about as good a liar as Chris.
Yeah. They go into his office, and because of her empathy powers, she feels his horniness, which amplifies her horniness, and it's extra horny. So she wants to have sex, and she's like, oh no, I can't be given into this horniness. And so she's backing away, and he's like stalking her around the desk while she's like saying no. Like, even if he doesn't know about her powers, like, dude, back off. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing, horny man? Like, get away.
Yeah.
He like starts like kissing her neck and stuff after she's like going like no, and it's like can we not have this?
Fuck are you doing, Charmed?
Yeah, it's creepy and it says a lot about Jason here.
Mm-hmm.
But then they have office sex.
Yeah.
Cut to more graphic dead bodies after that. This is some sort of warehouse or something. The Valkyries ride up to these to the warriors in this warehouse of some sort, and they're like, hey, this is all a big mistake. This isn't really
they're like, hey, it's us times. And they go, really? You Valkyries don't wear those clothes.
Yeah, like, it's like all of a sudden they just don't recognize them, and they're like, I think it's really our enemies in disguise. So we're gonna fight them. It's like, are you stupid? Like, are they Frankensteins? They put the village idiot brains in them, or what? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, this Valkyrie training camp is going really poorly.
Maybe because they're dead, they're like zombies. Like, their brains are deteriorating, so they slowly turn dumber and dumber the longer they're there.
Need to rotate some of these guys out then, I think.
Yeah, I don't think this is working out, man. Cut to this is the most baffling part of this two-parter. So Paige is stuck with the last dog because the family left town. Yeah. Irresponsible family.
This is why she didn't just orb the dog home. It was super important this happened.
Yeah. She's on the phone with the temp agency, and she's like, this dog isn't my responsibility, like, just because the family's out of town. Which is true. If the family goes out of town, you take him to a shelter or something. Like, that's not your responsibility, the dog walker. Like,
yeah, you don't leave town while your dog isn't home yet. Like, what?
Honestly. Anyway, the dog talks now. Out of fucking nowhere. It's a talking dog?
Talking dog.
Like... It's the same sort of like the CGI mouth moving, like, I'm a talking dog.
Yeah. Oh, you can hear me now?
Wow, I am good.
Complete fucking non sequitur. And he's got like the lazy voice too, like, hey, I'm a dog.
I don't make the rules.
Yeah, I can't tell you, like, how much of a non sequitur this is. How to fucking nowhere. Like, there's no setup. There's no, like...
There's no payoff to this.
There's no payoff either. It's like this was added in last second because they're like, I don't know, Paige doesn't have anything to do. So the dog is talking and he's like, yeah, I was a human who was cursed by a witch. Can you cast a spell on me real quick to make me normal? And she's like, yeah, I guess. And she turns him normal. And he's Joe Millionaire? Fucking Joe Millionaire? What is going on? Why is Joe Millionaire uncharmed? Why was he a dog?
Did he have a lot of acting roles?
No. Because his thing was, he's, well, I guess he wasn't, he was a reality show star. I guess the point of Joe Millionaire is that they're pretending to be a millionaire, but he's just a regular Joe, right?
Yeah.
So... yeah, that was his thing. Look handsome and be on a reality show. And now he can be a talking dog. This is bizarre. And then, like, he was humping her leg more than once.
Yeah, he goes, oh, well, that's how dogs show they like you.
Get a restraining order on that fucking guy. Joe Millionaire was humping her leg.
No, but what if she goes on a date with him?
No.
Paige, don't date your neighbor's dog.
Yeah, what happened with that family? Like, they're like, what happened to my dog? We left town and then, like, it disappeared. Well, serves you right for leaving town. You leave town and your dog becomes Joe Millionaire. That's the rules. Joe Millionaire is like, hey, all dogs are barking. All this barking is going on because there's some serious magic in the air with these Valkyries. A fly buzzes around his hair in the shot.
I love this fly. Star of the scene for me. In most shows, I think it would be bad that there's a fly buzzing around, but Charmed does it good.
Yeah, really top notch. It's really raw. The thing is, it really brings you to the reality of the situation, like how it would really be if your dog suddenly turned into Joe Millionaire.
Yeah. Real like a reality show.
Yeah. Okay, Phoebe is naked in Jason's office.
Naked woman!
We get some fan service. She gets dressed as she's leaving. Paige shows up and she knows that she's accomplished nothing. So she's like, hey, Joe Millionaire told me where to find Piper. Let's go. What, Joe Millionaire told him where to find Piper? Like, he just said, like, hey, magic's in the air. And all of a sudden it's like, I know where Piper is? Why does Joe Millionaire the dog know where she is?
Yeah, that does not connect, show.
So, back in the warehouse, there's a fight between the Valkyries and the Warriors. The Valkyries are getting their asses kicked. They were the ones that trained these guys? Like, why are they so bad at this?
Yeah. I will say, though, this is one of the more involved fight scenes in Charmed.
Yeah, it seems one of the more involved fight scenes for Piper also, because it kind of seems like Piper avoided fight scenes a lot. I don't know if Holly Marie Combs maybe wasn't comfortable with them or didn't want to do them, but a lot of times she'd be like blowing things up.
Yeah, she'd just wave her hands lazily. Yeah.
But she's like swinging on a chain. You see her stunt double swinging along.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, she saves another Valkyrie during this fight because one of the fighters is about to get her, and that's when she does the swing across and gets him off her back.
Yeah, she's a lot cooler as a Valkyrie. Honestly, I like this scene. I wanted her to just stay a Valkyrie. It would have been more interesting.
Seriously, though.
So Phoebe and Paige Orbin, and Piper is like having none of it. So she like flings Paige into a fence. She roundhouse kicks Phoebe in the face. Yeah. Pretty good.
Great.
And then, like, all of a sudden, just chaos. Daryl runs in with a gun.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna shoot everyone.
Yeah, he runs into the middle of them like an idiot instead of like staying at the entrance so his back isn't like behind some of them. So of course, one of them tries to throw a knife right into his back.
Yeah. He runs in there. He knows about witches and shit, and he's just like, I have a gun. Nobody move.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a bad situation even if it wasn't magical people. And there you don't run in and leave your back exposed to half of them.
No, yeah, you wouldn't. But I mean, why would you think a gun would do you any good?
No,
you know that this is some magic shit.
It's really stupid. It's extra stupid because he does know about magic too.
Yeah. So he's about to get a knife to the back of the fucking head. Like one of them throws a knife, it nearly hits him in the head, but Piper saves him. So again, Valkyrie Piper cares more than normal Piper.
Yes. Normal Piper would have sped the knife up or just blown Daryl's head up herself.
It was a mercy killing.
The Valkyries decide now is the time to flush everyone out. Like they're like, hey, you believe us now? And they're like, I guess so. Why? I don't know. The scene's over.
Yeah, they open the portal and say, you believe us now. So it's like, you guys could have gone in the warehouse and opened your flush portal and that could have been the end of it.
I guess we didn't think of it. Idiots.
Valkyries are really inept.
Yeah. Piper goes with them because they still have some time to fill. So, at the manor, they're exactly where they started. This is like the same fucking scene that we've seen earlier in the episode. Nothing's been accomplished.
No. Nothing is accomplished here. Waste of time.
So, they're talking about everything that's going on. Chris is like, hey, the elders think that a demon sent Leo to Valhalla. That's probably what's going on. And they think, like, Phoebe's new power is to help Piper. And they say the most fucking nonsense that's ever been... Well, I can't say that's ever been said on the show, but this is fucking nonsense. They're like, Piper's not feeling her feelings, so what if we cast a spell so that Piper will feel Phoebe's feelings, which are Piper's feelings that she should be feeling? Excuse me? Excuse fucking me. I thought the whole thing with, like, she can't feel her anymore when she becomes full Valkyrie is that she's blocked her feelings again, so why would she be feeling her feelings if they could cast a spell to make her feel the feelings?
That does not add up.
All right. It's just nonsense. And Paige is like, yeah, we could reuse that spell that I cast on Cole during that dumbass mermaid two-parter. Yeah, we'll just reword it a little bit and feel the true feelings, whatever. And Phoebe's like, our powers are emotion-based, so if we can channel her emotions, then I can channel her powers and use them against her. What? What are you talking about? What is any of this? Excuse me? Anyway, they go to Valhalla, and Piper just happens to be walking randomly on the road they appear on. Like, hey, what are you doing here?
I think she was just showing some people one of the Airbnbs. Like, yeah. This vacation of the dead is going great.
You can have a great seaside view over here. We have free Wi-Fi. It's great. So she just flings Paige away, does her standard. But Phoebe's channeling her emotion powers or something. So she starts flinging Piper around. It's a fling-off. And Paige casts the Cole spell. And so Piper's gonna get emotional! She tells the Valkyries she's got to go home and berate her kids and husband or whatever. So she's like, peace out, Valkyries. And they're like, see ya, what a great person. We love you.
Yeah, the Valkyries all just stand around and smile like, yeah, she gotta go. It's like, what?
Yeah.
So
what was anything?
No one's upset about the dead Valkyries. No, it's all good. All right.
Yeah. Whatever. They're good. The episode's ending sometime soon, hopefully. Jason's in his office. Phoebe calls him. Who cares? At the manor, Chris is cleaning up because that's the White Lighter's job.
Yeah.
You're the help. Paige is all dressed up because she's going on a date with Joe Millionaire, the dog.
Yeah. Great plot. You have fun with that, Paige.
Yeah. Cool. We get a Leo and Piper scene. And this should be the scene where they get into how Piper is feeling, which is what this whole fucking movie-length two-parter has been about.
Yeah.
But she very evenly is telling him, like, look, I need some space from you. Like, I can't have you sticking around all the time. So you need to, like, get out of here. Clearly it does affect them, but they are holding back. Like, it's not this release, this catharsis that typically would be at the end of a storyline like this.
Yeah.
Leo does apologize for taking away her feelings, but she says you don't have to apologize. Why? Yes, he does.
Yeah, I think he does.
Yeah, in this case, she would be justified, but she's only ever mad at him when it's not his fault. When it is, it's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
He's crying over spilled milk.
You messed with my mind. Like, that is a good reason to be upset.
Yeah. Get out of here. You're sleeping on the couch, bud.
This show is so stupid.
Leo says he's also not going to be in Elderland. He's going to be sticking around because he's got to find out who sent him to Valhalla, even though he knows who sent him there. But all of a sudden, it's a mystery. This is the world's lamest mystery because he knows.
Who did it? The guy I thought did it? Yes. Whoa.
Whoa. Leo orbs out, and it looks like he has no legs because the effect doesn't go past the screen. The end. What do we do? Margoyle first, or do we do... I never know if we do final thoughts. Phelan, what'd you think of the episodes?
Vacation of the Dead was very stupid and annoying. Phoebe was insufferable. They made Paige annoying too, so it's like... I feel like we've run into a few Paige is at her worst kind of episodes, even though she was one of the better characters on the show. But like here, she's pretty bad in a lot of spots. She's the one who throws the potion at Daryl that murders him.
Right. I think murdering him, stealing his soul without consent's pretty bad.
Yeah. Like, they have the easily solved mystery of who sent Leo to Valhalla. It's, like, I feel like this show just doesn't know how to structure anything. Like, that should be the main plot, but no one cares. It's just like, oh, well, Leo's in Valhalla, lol, okay, well, he's in one cave. It's like, nothing feels big. The characters actively fight doing anything. I don't know what this show thinks its appeal is besides putting them in stupid outfits. So I guess, yeah, bravo, you did it again, Charmed. They were in stupid outfits. What was your final thoughts?
This was, this had some spectacularly incompetent stuff in it. Like, why would you ever make your characters do this? Lots of cracks showing, sometimes literally. So it's annoying. Like, Phoebe is at her worst. This is probably the worst episode, maybe one of the worst episodes for Phoebe ever that isn't one of the Cole stories. Like, I truly, truly loathed her in this episode. But there is some funny stuff to it. I don't know necessarily that I enjoyed it. I enjoyed pieces of it. Mm-hmm. I guess, like, I was mad at some points, and, like, near the end, it was kind of like, wrap it up, please. Yeah. So I don't know. Spectacularly incompetent, and showed us what season 6 was going to become.
Yeah. It was a sign to run.
Phelan, I want to ask, who is your Margoyle or Carman?
Or Carman.
Yeah. We never had a Carman yet, but I feel I did put that on there. If you have one that's like, you know.
What's a Carman?
There's a car man waiting in his car. He'd like to come and meet us, but he's just a fucking car. There's a car man waiting in his car. He'd like to come and meet us, but he's just a fucking car.
If you get a standout loser, then you get a standout hero.
A standout hero
of the episode. Yeah, like this was the best person in the episode versus the loser.
Okay. The Carman is going to be Piper, because I feel like there's going to be very few times I could ever give it to her.
Whoa.
And it was definitely Piper, because she's out of character for like this whole episode, where she is nice, she wants to help people, actively does stuff. It's amazing. Way to go, Piper. My Margoyle, though, there's so many things that could be the Margoyle.
How do you pick? It's like you got like the little box of chocolates, the choice. Like, ooh, yeah. ooh, this one's good too.
There's the Valkyries for being so incompetent. There's Chris for being a bad liar. There's Leo for murdering. Past all that, my Margoyle is Phoebe. She was so annoying. She had to make everything about her. The start of the episode is just her talking about her stupid article again and how great she is, and then wanting to cheat on her boyfriend, and then saying, oh, it wasn't my fault, it was the empathy that did it. Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
You suck, Phoebe. Allison, who is your Margoyle and Carman?
We got double Margoyles! Ding, 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 ding! You couldn't have said it better myself. All of those reasons. Fuck Phoebe in this episode. There were so many people who murdered people, and she was so much worse. Wish they'd murdered her. My Carman. And the reason I brought this up again, I did bring up the Carman thing when I introduced the Margoyle, but we just never had one, and I stopped mentioning it because there's never a good character. But I thought I ought to give it to him. The fly that's buzzing around Joe Millionaire's head. That's my Carman.
I was going to give special mention to the fly, too, yes.
Yeah, he's a super fly.
Just, I had to give it to Piper, though, just because I don't feel like there will be any other time I could.
Oh, man, you never award a Carman to Piper ever again.
It's weird, because it's the first time I'm awarding one.
All right. Do you have anything else to say on the show?
No.
All right. I am dying after 2 hours of recording. So, if you guys enjoyed this podcast, we'd appreciate it if you liked, subscribed, or reviewed, or wherever you are listening to it. You can find us in audio form at anchor.fm or anywhere else that you can find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube, youtube.com/movie nights the series. Phelan's at youtube.com/Phelis. You can support us on Patreon, vote in polls to see which Charmed Rewinds we do, or see episodes early, all sorts of good stuff. You can find my stuff at patreon.com/movie nights, and Phelan at patreon.com/Phelis. Thanks to Peter Hunter for editing the podcast for us. He did the theme song, he did the Carman theme, and he also produced Riff Tracks the game, so if you guys haven't checked that out, you definitely should. You can see us playing it with him on the official Riff Tracks YouTube channel, so check that out.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And you can find Peter on Twitter at PretorHunter. What hashtag should we use, Phelan?
Hashtag Vacation of the Dead.
Hashtag Superfly.
Hashtag Stop Phoebe Time.
That's good. All right, we'll see you Charmanders next time. Bye!